continue learning Kitzur. We're up to Sif Vav. And Sif Vav discusses who lights the Menorah. So, one of the beauties in Chanukah is not just one day. If you messed up on day 1, on day 3, on day 4, you still got another chance. Baruch Hashem. So the minhag Pashbim Dinasena, what is the minhag? Kimahadrin mina mahadrin. Shamalikin kolachad v'achov ne'abayis. Everyone lights b'layla rishayin. 1 candle, b'sheni 2 candles, etc., etc. That's something that we all know. Fascinating tidbit is that nowhere in halacha do we find the ikar halacha. The ikar halacha, which is 1 candle for the entire household, you don't find that. You only find that in the Mishnah Berurah points out that is the ikar halacha. But it starts from Mahadrin, then Mahadrin mina Mahadrin, which is, maybe the theme of Chanukah, as we're always trying to be a little bit greater, a little bit higher. It continues the Kitzur. Zahir, one should be careful that everyone should have their candles in their own place. This is something that sometimes you look at a window and it just looks like one big mash of candles. Each set of candles should be discernible in their own area. Interesting, Shaila Shlomo Kluger was asked, what happens if you light too many candles? You mess up. Tonight, you think tonight is night 6. It's night 5, by the way. And you light, like Sphira, you say last night, you lit the wrong number of candles. What do? Very interesting. So, some paiskim, right? You got to blow them all out, and you have to start again. Because you lit the wrong number, and you have to know what number it is. Says Shlomo Kluger, B'di'eved, your yaitze, but put out the extra candle. Just an interesting, fascinating tidbit. One more halacha, we'll skip the Sif Yud over here. If you lit too little, well then you're yaitze, but then you just light more. You light more. Now, what is the optimum time for lighting? And again, as we mentioned, whether one can leave or not to the office, you'll take up with your personal boss, and that's not me. But says the Kitzur, the halacha, the ikar, the main halacha is zman hadlakasan is miyad b'tzeisa kechavim v'lo yuchar, and not later. So the ikar zman is tzeisa kechavim. The question is, when exactly is that? Rabbi Feinstein said approximately 10 minutes after Shkia. Others say approximately 20 minutes after Shkia. So we say between 10 and 20 minutes after Shkia. Shkia today is 4:28. So between 4:38 and 4:48. That is the ikar time. If you cannot light at that time, when could you light until? You're allowed to light on big cities. Rav Menashe Klein said at least till 12 o'clock at night, there are people out in the streets. But let's say even later. Bottom line, what happens? You show up, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, there's no one up outside, it's you, maybe your wife and 2 kids. What do you do now? Shaila, that happens. And at that point, no one wants to wake up the Rav to ask the Rav what to do. So there is halacha that lichatchila, your wife and or children should be there at the halakha, because you're lighting for your family. So lichatchila is you should wake up your wife and kids. However, if that's not possible for whatever which reason, whether the wife or kids are just not getting out, it's not the time to pull out the stick and start beating them, that they have to come down for the Menorah. I think we've all realized that's not the right way to go. Lamaisa says, Shmuel Vosner, you're allowed to light as late as you want with a bracha, even if no one else is there. An important thing to know. And finally is, how long does your Menorah have to be lit? For minimally a half hour. After that half hour of the Zman, earliest time to light, he says over here, is Plag HaMincha. Plag, you let a light, but if you light a Plag, it has to burn until a half hour after Shkia, which is an hour and a half.